Right. Technical difficulties aside, this should be working absolutely fine. Hey everyone! Ah, yes. Good stuff. I really hope you guys can hear me.
Mm-hmm.
Who are you again?
Who?
I don't know. Welcome!
Woo!
Welcome to the Target Alpha Trion commentary track. Oh, look at that.
Boy.
It's me, your boy, Joey P. I've got old Dan the Man Storm, who is... Well, tell us what you did on this, Dan.
Oh, I make the music.
He do.
Mm-hmm.
He done a lot of the music. All of this fantastic synthy atmospheric stuff is all his doing, and
It's
didn't
crisp.
He do a fantastic job, ladies and gentlemen.
Such a good job.
It is so crisp.
Dan, this is some of my favorite music. Yeah.
Oh, stop it, you.
Yeah, speaking of Chris Pratt, it's Mason Brown.
Oh,
Give it up for Mason Brown. I certainly did.
Hi. I voice a third of the characters in Ascension, and I hope everybody's having a
Yes,
good day.
but who do you voice in this specifically?
I voice your boy Starscream and everybody's favorite Korg robot Getaway.
Yes, you do. That came out really weird on my end. You start repeating yourself like 3 or 4 times.
Oh, well.
Yes.
I'll cut it in post.
Yeah, we'll fix it in post. It'll be fine. Anyway, we've never done one of these before. It's the first time we've actually done a commentary track for any of the Crosshairs Productions films. But I guess where better to start than probably one of our proudest achievements. I mean, look at it and how this film compares to even some of the latest episodes of Ascension. There is a marked improvement in quality in pretty much every aspect, which was absolutely what we were going for with this. Originally, this started off as just a really short, like, it was going to be a sort of Zodiac Bridge length sort of thing, maybe a little longer, which was going to be just about a group of Autobots rescuing Alpha Trion from essentially this scenario. So from there, I mean, this all just started when I bought a box on Alpha Trion and realised that I wanted to gloat about it. And it evolved into this 46-minute masterpiece. Yeah, I'm mega proud of how it's all come out. I don't know how you guys feel.
I'm particularly excited about this because, I mean, a lot of this is excellent. Like, I think your animation, it shows how much you've improved kind of just since Broken Mirror started to the point that we're at now, but also the voice cast that we have for this. I was very happy to bring in a couple of people who are friends of mine on this. So my buddy Christian Legasse he was Six Gun, and Isaac Ryan is Excellion in this, and then we have our wonderful Bradley Frew as Optimus. He just crushes it in this, and then obviously Gary Chalk and Peter Spellos, veterans to the Transformers scene. But this is definitely, I totally agree with you. It's 100% like so much higher in quality kind of than a lot of the stuff up until this point. And Dan, your music, man, it really helps to sell a lot of the atmosphere of this. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dan, tell us a bit about the...
my music's so great.
I mean, tell us...
Well...
I mean, yeah, tell us about, like, the music-making process for you, and, like... I mean, like, we could start from beginning, just, like, how did we actually end up hiring you?
Well...
That sounded really snarky, I'm sorry.
Why did you get me?
Yeah.
Why you? We could have had anyone else.
Could have had... Look.
I could have had Steve Dublunsky.
Look, I'm no Hans Zimmer, but I'm pretty close, alright?
Yeah.
No, okay, so...
Anyway, tell us about your creative process.
The creative process... So, fun fact, this was my first my first proper project, essentially, like doing music. So, and I knew going in from like what you wanted out of it, which was basically the brief that you gave me was synth, like orchestral, like sort of like basically you threw the. You basically threw the War for Cybertron Siege soundtrack at me for a reference. And it's like...
Yes.
Do this. And I'm like, oh god, I've never worked with this before. So... honestly, my process was just a lot of... just a lot of it by feel. I don't have a particularly, like, academic background in music. I've always just kind of smashed a keyboard and see what comes out, or what I feel sounds good. But I know I've known enough over the past few years to obviously do this to a good enough degree. Yeah, I used,
No, sir. Captain Orion
time to get on my soapbox. I used all completely free and or open source software to produce this soundtrack. So the like violin samples, the synths that I found, even the the workstation that I worked in, all completely free. So to anyone out there that wants to do like music production and doesn't know where to start, just go searching for the free stuff, because it is more than adequate to do this sort of stuff. Could I have gone with like a Reaper or Ableton or whatever? Probably not, because I would still be at the same level of like my knowledge of actual music production. So yeah, that's my message for the day. Free stuff is not bad.
I mean, what was the what was the synthesizer you used? Because we love to plug that it's the same one that was used for Blade Runner.
Yes. So I used what's called an emulator. So basically, it's basically someone's virtual recreation of a synth, and it's called Arminator 2. So a riff on Terminator, I think, because it was also used on Terminator. So, yeah, it was basically one of the two main synths used on the Blade Runner soundtrack, and I think that really helped in shaping the tone and feel of the soundtrack.
Yes. It worked. I mean, it works even here as well with the flashback to the kind of golden age, which incidentally this was the first scene that I filmed in the entire creative process. But it really enhances the kind of apocalyptic sort of vibes of Cybertron, deep into the Civil War. It really is phenomenal, and there like certainly some tracks which really kind of gut punches in terms of like it really is amazing, like the level of emotion that you're able to convey with such a kind of simple soundboard.
This little melody playing here at the end of this scene, I initially envisioned this as a Optimus theme. And another fun fact, the music was actually going to continue on into the beginning of this scene in the rain, but democracy won out and it was cut.
I
love democracy when I win.
I have to just make a quick little callback to that scene where they were standing in that flashback and they're looking out the window. I'll probably send it to you to throw it up on screen in the corner here, Joe. But I have to give a shout out to my spouse, who I'm very proud of. She did an incredible piece of artwork inspired by this, because I know that people have been super key, like not just us as people who created it. Hey, it's me. But like people who have watched it have been have been having a lot of fun with it. So. I wanna gloat about how talented my spouse is, and I'm gonna send you that artwork to toss up on screen right now.
Yeah, it'll be up on screen at some point in this
the corner.
Frame, yeah.
We'll block my face. We'll block Getaway's face. It's fine.
Yeah.
Hey man, stop blocking my
I think
face.
you overestimate how much. I think you overestimate how much editing I want to do in this.
I can't see.
I'm syncing the voices. That's
There's
it.
a big picture in my face.
Well, speaking of Getaway, Mason, would you like to tell us about what influenced your performance with Getaway here?
It's
in case it wasn't blatantly obvious.
Well, it's funny because I don't my very passable Kiwi accent is more influenced by Rice Darby than it is like Taika Waititi. People will know him as like Karan from the Voltron reboot, or they'll know him as Randall from Infinity Train. He's in Flight of the Conchords, which is one of my favorite comedy duos of all time. He plays their manager on the show and kind of in the sketches that they did. So fellow redhead. He's got a very similar kind of bass tone that I have to my voice. So it was a lot of just channeling Rice Darby when I was thinking about how I wanted to come across, and he's got lots of energy when he talks, and he's very up here all the time. So that was the influence for me. But then Korg, of course, because everybody loves Korg.
Yeah. Anyway, I decided that you sounded like Korg, so we went with that.
Yeah. Also, speaking of wonderful voices, Emma as Lancer, who everybody loved and was like, "Oh, Lancer baby."
Sweet child soldier.
Beautiful, sweet summer child soldier. Yeah.
Emma was such a perfect find for this. I just want to make a little quick thing about almost said Korg, Getaway. Is that we did actually end up tweaking a few of his lines after your initial reads to get him a bit kind of friendlier sounding, because there was just that similarity to Korg, and I know some of the lines that we gave him were a bit abrasive and didn't sound right coming out with that voice, so we just made him like the his first line is "Hey man, where you been?" But the original version of that was "You're late," which was it didn't sound right for the voice that we'd kind of picked. But back to Lancer, and there's a bloody helicopter flying over right now. Emma was such an amazing find. This was the first time that I've used like Casting Call Pro to actually find more talent, and I realized that finding a young voice actress to like in just any case was going to be really difficult, especially if I was going to go casting through YouTube. And had a couple like pretty solid auditions for Lancer on there, and then Emma comes along, just absolutely smashes it out of the park, like tone, delivery. She just captured the kind of upbeat innocence that I really wanted to find with Lancer, and I don't think the character would have resonated anywhere near as much as she does without Emma. So I hope that she's listening. Kudos, Emma. You did amazing. You really
good.
I think this is definitely one of the strongest voice casts we've ever had. Even without our special guests of Peter Spellows and Gary Chalk.
Yeah, I was dedicated to getting the absolute perfect cast for this. Making, not just in terms of like, I wanted people with decent mics, but of course, like the actual acting ability was really important too. And everyone, literally everyone, gave it that absolute 100%. Let's talk a little bit about our guests then, shall we? I think it's about time we address them.
Yes.
Yeah. So originally, Trion was the only one who I really wanted to get a guest voice actor for. It was important for him to be played by an older gentleman. And I just to brag a bit about my connections, but I've known Peter Spellos for a number of years now. I first met him at I think it was like the last auto assembly. Started joining his improv classes that he hosted in the UK. And we've become very, very good friends. I mentioned to him that I'd love to have him voicing for some of my projects in the Ascensionverse, and he was more than happy to do that. So contacting him about Alpha Trion, I had a pretty good feeling about if he was gonna join us. I knew he would, and I knew he'd be up for it. He did a fantastic job as well with he responded to the direction like absolutely phenomenally as well. I was able to actually record with him when he did his lines, and we really didn't need to do all that many retakes. He nailed almost every single line like perfectly first time. He's such a lovely man. He's just the most fantastic sweary Santa that anyone can ask for. Yeah, and Gary Chalk as well. Sorry, you go on, Mason. Go on there.
I was just going to say, for those who, because I know that Gary Chalk is a little bit more of a kind of known immediately in the Transformers fandom. Like, people will be like, oh yeah, Gary Chalk, he was Optimus Primal, and then he was Optimus Prime in the Unicron trilogy. But for people who don't know who Peter Spellos played, he was Skybite in RID, like one of the top characters from that show, who's beloved through today, and is awesome. I know a couple people are gonna ask, like, well, who the heck is Peter Spellos? Like, who is? I don't know who that is.
Oh yeah, I mean, some people might actually know him. He had a brief cameo in Men in Black 2 as the train driver at the start when Will Smith is battling with the subway worm. Is it Captain Larry Bridgewater? Just a little cameo there. He likes talking about his interactions with Will Smith a lot. But yeah, that you will know him from. I think most of our audience will probably know him from that, I guess, or equally as much as they would know him from RID.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's really is just such a perfect casting for Trion.
Yeah.
I've known him as this kind of sensei character for a while, and he just slotted right in, beard and all.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by Peter's performance as Trion. Another fun music fact for this
really
scene, obviously...
Just in time.
Yes, just in time. Another fun music fact here is, originally, I had just straight up ripped the Treadshot Prime theme verbatim. Showed it to Joe, and he was like, "Why did you do that?" So, so we had to scramble to come up with a unique Optimus theme, which you'll hear from this point on. You'll hear throughout the soundtrack whenever Optimus comes into the picture.
Yeah, it pops up a number of times. It's definitely more prevalent from this point onwards, because we were essentially just scoring this chronologically.
Yeah, I did basically go through it linearly.
Yes.
Yeah. Getting back to Gary Chalk, though.
Yeah,
You were,
so-
yeah.
Yes, so we're about to talk about Gary Chalk too. I mean, loads of people are asking like, "Whoa, how'd you get Gary Chalk?" And the simple answer is just, I asked him and he said yes. It really is that simple. Like, I sent him a message on social media, just like, "Hi, I'd love to have you on board for this fan project. Here's a little sample of what we do if you'd be interested." And he was fully on board for playing Hound. And again, like, performance knocked out of the park, really did. And it's a surprising choice, but it fits really well for Hound.
Yeah.
I think.
It does.
I think many people would have expected him to be like younger Optimus or something, but yeah, I think Hound is a really good fit for his pipes.
He plays Hound, not pipes. You goof.
Shut the hell up!
I was gonna make a joke and say, you're in no shortage of Vancouverites. You have 3 people from Vancouver in this production. You got me and Christian and Gary,
yeah.
all in here.
Yeah. Well, actually, Gary Chalk is from Southampton in the UK originally.
Yes, but he lives here in Vancouver.
Not many of you probably knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, shut up.
Oh,
anyway, speaking of whatever.
Speaking of big boys,
But hey, look,
It's-
Starscream's back.
it's me.
The first time Starscream's made a proper return.
It's me. People in the comments harass
It
Joe to
is.
put Starscream in more things because I love playing Starscream.
No.
Peer pressure.
You had like. I'm really pleased with all of the lines that I did for Starscream.
I'm super
Like,
happy.
I
Yeah.
wrote him some absolute bangers. I'm a big fan of later on when Megatron goes to walk out to talk with Optimus, and Thundercracker's like, "What the hell's he doing?" And then Starscream's like, "Hey, not my problem if he wants to go kill himself."
Yeah.
If he wants to walk into the line of fire, that's none of my business.
There we go.
Yeah.
And this shot of Megatron. Oh,
He spilled his blueberry
And I love
juice.
what I love about like, I guess the lack of animation at this point is that the rest of the Autobots turn around and Lancer doesn't.
Yeah.
That's like,
yeah.
I love those.
I really hope
I hope
loads of people picked up on it.
Yeah, I hope people did pick up on that sort of like subtle characterization. Like Mason said, your animation work with like the subtleties and the cinematography, some of the best you've done.
Yeah, a big project like this, like which I just focused on for 7 months, really allowed me to look at the details, in vocal performances, the animation itself. There's just so much that having a single project instead of like an ongoing series allowed me to work on more. But yeah, I really hope people picked up on that little detail with Lancer and there's so many little things sprinkled throughout the film where you can kind of tell that she's not. What's the best way to put this? That she's not. She is quite desensitized to all of these horrors. Like all she's known is this like crimson red sky and thunderstorms, acid rain. She's seen so much death and destruction, and it's just like it's almost nothing to her. Just like, ooh, another dead body. Like
Yeah.
the way she looks at that rusted old corpse in the alleyway earlier is another kind of indication of how she's not quite right in the head. I want to say as well, like I'm a huge fan of the Megatron scene that just played too. I realise that like we're kind of free flowing, but there are bits that we really want to talk about with as they happen. And that Megatron scene is one of my favourites. He wasn't originally going to appear at that point. It was just going to be Autobots see that their shuttle has been captured. It's like, okay, we've got to find another way. But then I really wanted to showcase Megatron as kind of how animated does him as this boogeyman who's like incredibly scary and like almost like demon-like. And there is a canonical reason why he has like that big sword and why he has the battle mask, and those are all like keepsakes from a previous battle he and Optimus fought in against the Fallen, and he literally cannibalized the body of a dead god to make himself look incredibly scary to anyone. And I think the visuals plus Dan's score, which brings back the original Decepticon theme from season 1, which we haven't used in 5 years. It's an absolute perfect fusion, just to show how intimidating he is.
It was it was really fun, like reusing those themes and like incorporating them in new ways. And more fun music facts, I managed to transcribe everything by ear.
Wow.
So I did initially ask our original composer Julia, if she had those original files for me to work off of, but she couldn't get a hold of them at the time. So I was like, right, I'll do it myself.
And you did a phenomenal job.
Yeah. There's a bit coming up.
Yeah.
I just want to get this out there, talking about free flow. Just get this out there before it happens. There's a bit of animation that I really like, and I've said this to Joe before. But there's part where Megatron leans back, and it's a little subtle animation thing you did there that I just really like. It kind of reminds me of the bit from Animated where he's talking to the Constructicons, and they're like, "Oh, they told us you were evil," and he's like, "What?" And there's something about it that has that same energy with him kind of doing a little lean backwards.
Yeah.
You were saying, Daniel?
I'm really pleased with how this battle scene turned out.
Dan, go ahead.
I
was saying I'm really proud of the track that just played, where it was like a really nice build-up to
for God's sake, Mason.
the anticipation of them firing off those shots, and then the lack of music also really accentuates Max Ross Linden's fantastic sound design.
Oh yeah, what a send off for the man as well. Like he truly brought his A game with this.
Is that public knowledge?
We worked together to.
Joe, that's not public knowledge.
I guess
It
not.
is now.
No, it is now. So our dear friend Max Linden is he's still with Crosshairs Productions. Don't worry, but he's stepping down from his sound design role. And we are training a new person. Well, we are training Mr. J Baines, Shadow Elite 217, in the ways of the sound maker. Mm-hmm. Oh yes, this whole exchange with Optimus and Megatron has been a long time coming. It's been so long since we've seen these two together, and again, Bradley, Stewart just kill it with their performances. The little echo effect as well for the ambience is really kind of sells it too. There's your little lean. Is that the one there, Mason? Oh yes, that was Dan on the echo duty.
Yeah, my secret uncredited role.
Minor sound tweaking and fixes. Yeah. And here we go. The big reveal coming up.
The big reveal that some people didn't catch.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's I love leaving little breadcrumbs in like throughout the script, and there were more of those, like with Optimus's little speech when they're in a safe house, like I told myself it was right and all that stuff. I kept it like deliberately ambiguous as to like who had actually done that. Because normally it's like Optimus who's the one who does the ejecting, and then like kind of turning on its head slightly is like, oh, it was Alpha Trion, the person they've actually been sent to protect, and we're already seeing kind of the the consequences of his actions. There's a lot of kind of grey morals going on here, and Excellion, as you're going to see, is probably the most torn up about it. Partly helped because of the fact that he actually survives this, and is one of the few survivors of this team. His kind of distaste of Trion, it really kind of bounces off that revelation so nicely.
Well, you get that little bit of foreshadowing in the beginning as well, where he's like, we're doing all this to protect a politician, and everyone is like, hey, you're an idiot, shut your mouth. But then he is kind of right in a way, where he's like, oh, this is your fault.
And like Optimus is like overly like out of character aggressive response should be another clue as to like why this is such a complicated issue to discuss. I think
I love this.
Excellion
I love this
and Lance's
sound, by the way.
and how, sorry.
That little
the little chitters.
Yeah, reminds me of the Warbirds from Mando. But yeah, continue.
Oh yeah. Like Excellion and Lance are such integral parts of this film because of like how they're affected by Trion's actions. Lancer being literally only 10 years old, which is, it's young even for a Cybertronian, because they live for millions and millions of years. But yeah, like their kind of relationship kind of evolved throughout the kind of script outline. Just having that closeness for them makes the heartbreak for Excellion just a little harder, and it makes her innocence even more heartbreaking. They both like turn out to be really strong fan favorite characters, and I know I've seen all the comments and I can see that loads of people are really keen for Excellion to make a return. Incidentally, if you're confused about why Lancer is alive here when we saw her get blown up by Deadlock in Killer No More, she got injured. All right, it's not a life. It's not a life-ending thing being blown up by a grenade. Occasionally, it depends. Is it law of diminishing returns? Something like that.
If you're a big robot, it's up in the air
that
whether or not
was
you
so worth it.
you die. That's an incredible. Yeah, that's so good.
It is. That was 40-something frames of mid-air photography. I had Hound on a green screen with a transparent flight stand assisting him with the kind of flip. Again, here with Starscream, we use the same technique, and watching that play out in slow motion was just chef's kiss. So good.
But I gladly accepted in his absence.
And Starscream just gets the best lines in this. He really does.
I got some good ones. I'm very I know it's been a long time when I made jokes earlier, but I am quite happy to have gotten some of the best lines. Just getting to be Starscream is always a joy.
Yeah, you did the monkey scream as well.
I did.
That shield. I saw. Sorry, go on.
No, I was about to say the shield. Don't forget to mention the shield.
Yes, don't forget to mention the shield. The shield was given to me at TF Nation 2019, I think it was.
Must have been.
Yeah, it was 2019, which was the year I did my my panel about stop motion animation, and had a little kind of meet and greet thing at the end, just to the side of the stage, and I can't remember the name of whoever gave it to me, but someone had 3D printed a shield based on the design from War for Cybertron, one of the Cybertron games, and gave it to me, and how can I not try and get that into one of my animations? So I finally got around to painting it up. I borrowed a piece from Ironworks for the handle. You can kind of see it there, and I'm incredibly grateful. I hope that whoever made that shield is really pleased to see it in action here. He scream!
Me monkey scream. Everybody loved that monkey scream.
Yeah.
I was trying so hard not to peak the audio when recording that, and I was just like, "There's no way I can do this level of intensity without it being so crazy." Also, shout out to was it Jay who gave us the Halo flamethrower sound effect for that?
I believe so.
I think so. Yeah. For people who don't know, Jay was the voice of Bumblebee in the Ascension. Was it a purposeful choice not to have Bumblebee in this, Joe? Just so that all the people saying bring Bumblebee back.
It honestly was. I mean, like what? Like I could put him in a little background cameo, but why bother?
I mean,
why not just have a film without Bumblebee?
There is a huge shortage of Bumblebee content. We never get Bumblebee in anything, Joe. Yeah. How could you?
Yeah. Wait, who's Bumblebee?
He's the red one. He likes jumping on cliffs.
Bumper.
Yeah.
So, Joe, do you want to talk about this this bit? Because initially it was written.
Oh, yeah.
Initially, the first draft was a little bit different, wasn't it?
Yeah. So, it's what I kind of wanted to convey with Trion getting shot is that he's kind of deciding that enough is enough, and he's just taking the shot so that Megatron will leave Optimus alone and just allow him a future. Because Optimus isn't who Megatron's after in this. One of the initial versions that we had of that was that Megatron would target Optimus and Trion would dive in the way. But I feel like there's a more interesting concept with Trion taking it upon himself to take the shot and die.
Yeah.
It works more with the whole thing of don't sacrifice the future to preserve the past. I think there's an interesting emotional weight to changing that. We had a little discussion. It's should we stick with Trion protecting Optimus, or should he just take the shot? And take the shot really kind of it sat well with everyone.
Yeah.
And I'm really glad that we went with that in the end.
I think that the biggest takeaway from this project is that it was probably the biggest team effort we've done in a long time.
It really was. It absolutely was.
From just input from the scripting phase to animation, cinematography. My process with the music, you had a lot of input on that. It wasn't just one and done.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from this, this
or
track, when Trion dies, I nailed that first time. You had no complaints with it.
You really did. Oh, the bit coming up here. Just this moment of silence when Optimus looks over to Hound and has to make that decision. It tugs on your heartstrings. Landmine just hanging out like a Chad. I'm here too.
He's like, hey, a corpse. Look at that.
I'm really glad that I went back and fixed this, because in the initial version of this I uploaded for my patrons, there was a little audio glitch in that extensive silence that just absolutely killed the settling of the emotion. And so I think 2 days before I sent it off to TF Nation, fixed it up and sent them the fresh version, and I just know that would annoy me until my dying day. Just that one little glitch just ruining the moment. And then again, there's so many so many moments where we just let it sit. Just have a bit of moment of silence, just to let the events that have just occurred just settle for the viewer.
And then
had it with Lance's death.
What I'm dubbing the sad theme, because as I said, that little 4-note melody was initially supposed to be an Optimus theme, but it kind of morphed into more of a, Joe, you said you wanted it as more of a general theme for like Cybertron.
Yeah, it turned into I guess what do we call it? It was like a kind of a sad aria for like a mourning song for the planet. Yeah, it's interesting how we found some of the music tracks that have been created kind of like evolved during the creative process, and like, oh, actually that would work really well as this other thing, as this other related thing.
Yeah.
This
shout out again to our boy Isaac Ryan from the bot posting Facebook group as Excellion, slaying it.
Yeah,
in this scene.
Absolutely perfect. Like his deliveries here, and just throughout. When reading through the script, it was exactly what I envisioned, which never really happens. Really,
he's got a great young protagonist voice, so it's perfect for this.
Yes. Absolutely. So yeah, fun fact. Obviously, it might be obvious to some people that Excellion's got a sticker of an Autobot symbol on his shoulder there. The original figure, of course, like has a molded symbol, but my version of Excellion, the paint has kind of been scraped off of that symbol, and it gave me the idea of Excellion being an Autobot turned neutral who's just sick of the war and decides to leave it. And in a way that this is kind of like the origin story for that. So perhaps next time we see Excellion, he just looks like how he does on my shelf with that scratched off symbol. It's really interesting how just the fact that figure was secondhand inspired such an interesting character decision.
Optimus doing the Arthur meme.
The Arthur meme.
He's got the balled up fist. Way to take all emotional weight out of this moment, but we've watched this.
They've
like,
already seen the film.
We've watched this like 20 times, like us collectively for reviews and making sure, little things. So we got enough jokes stored up for like
you can have
15 commentary tracks.
We can have a little jest, a little jape.
I had memes at the ready for it.
Yeah, you did. Like a few days before it actually went up.
we were ready. We got them loaded in the back pocket. Just like, come on, Joe, just drop it already and let us run wild, please.
Come on,
and Emma,
gotta spam the Facebook group with them.
Before we end, shout out to Emma for the amazing Vine compilation.
Oh, it's incredible.
Again,
link that in the description or something. It's so funny.
Yes.
What a legend.
Yes. The wonderful Emma, voice of Lancer, again, shout out, created this fantastic Target Alpha Trion as Vines, and I was wheezing.
Yeah.
So good.
Even after watching it like 6 times, I was deceased. It's so funny.
When's our commentary track for that gonna happen? When are we gonna get Emma on the horn?
Oh.
Explain us your beams, please.
You have to speed run that. It's only 2.5 minutes.
I know.
Yeah. The Exodus.
There's the Optimus theme again.
Normal scene.
In a different key.
I'm so pleased with how this all looks. This is all like, all of these ships are just in one Google SketchUp file. It gets a little bit janky here and there, but for the most part you don't notice it. But yeah, I love how all of these shots work, how they all look. There's a few more cameos there. Could have had Bumblebee, didn't.
Chrome Dome, yeah. Oh, that's a great Chrome Dome figure, by the way. And the Lancer one bit.
It really is, yeah.
Bring a tear to the eye. Oh.
Yeah, it's just serendipity that Lancer 1 is a ship that already exists in the canon, and then just bringing that in, giving it Lancer's paint job as an homage to her, just respecting her legacy, the name. Couldn't have planned it better.
Couldn't have planned it
better.
There
we are. That was
there we
film.
go.
There we go.
Another shout out to again Jay, who created this fantastic little Trion symbol.
Yeah.
Which actually has the TAT that we abbreviate it to in the face. You should be able to see it with the eyes and kind of around the nose area. Another little shout out, Samuel Flatman from TFI Creations as the Auto Trooper who gets his head caved in, Negan style. So that's a reference you'll appreciate.
That is. I did that Negan video. Yeah.
Yes. You like that character.
I do. He entertaining. We gotta shout out to Abby as well.
Oh yes, for she was the single line of Nautica in the kind of penultimate scene, and she slays it absolutely 100%.
Yeah, it was good to see her and Julia. See Julia back as Chromia again.
Yes, because Julia's not done Chromia since season 1, episode 1.
Yeah.
And here we go, Mysterious Darkened Figure, which I think, again, was another kind of late-stage inclusion. But, I mean, you're watching this, you already know who it is, but it's just his appearance alone, given the context of this whole film, should tell you enough about his motivations.
It's
for the rest of Ascension.
Yeah, it's the Heavy from TF2. He's here.
Oh my goodness! And there we are.
Oh, man.
We can.
And my last
keep this
musical fact. Longer. My last musical fact.
What's your last musical fact?
So,
what is it?
I had an entire theme.
Oh no.
That I've basically been sitting on for the past 2 years, especially for Black Shadow. So this theme is like perfect, exactly how I want it. I put it into the scene in its entirety, show it to Joe, then Joe turns around and says, "Nah, I cut it down."
The classic musical fact.
If that doesn't... That... I mean, that's just the perfect summary of our relationship here, so... but yeah.
Is this a democracy or a dictatorship?
It's my democracy, thank you very much. But there we go. That's it. That is Transformers Target Alpha Trion. Probably, I think for sure, like the proudest project that I've made. I am staggered with how amazing it turned out, and a huge part of that is the crew that I was working with. So Dan, Mason, thank you both for your contributions to this.
Of course.
It wouldn't be what it was without you. And to the rest of the team at Crosshairs Productions, my guest voice actors, anyone else I'm missing, the TF Nation crew for helping, for allowing us to premiere this at the big broadcast of 2021. A massive thank you to everyone. This was truly a team effort, and it really does show. So I'm gonna wrap it up there because I don't see any further need to waffle on. So it's a goodbye from me,
and it's a bye from me.
That's your
and
cue.
it's a goodbye from me.
Okay.
Everybody have a good day.
I did the voice.
I survived. It's just a headache.
Oh no.
5 minutes of outro music.
Oh, no,
trim
that's
it.
going on the album.
10 seconds.
Take care, everyone. We will see you whenever. Be kind. Be safe. Love you all. A good night.
Good night. Bye.
We'll see you in your dreams.
See ya. Done.